Good day to you fine folks, and welcome to my analysis and breakdown on the Golden Vector. There have been several videos I've seen on this subject, but I don't really feel that any of them have covered the topic completely. So first of all, we're going to do a comparison of the base stats of the Golden Vector against other fighters. So this vector here, I claimed it and have not touched it yet. So it's got all the tech it starts with. As you can see, the base the stats on it look alright. However, they're being inflated by all this tech. So we're going to start by stripping that off. And actually, we're gonna, just for accurate comparison, this comes with a phase beam, but normally ships don't come with that. They come with photon cannons, so we're gonna replace that as well. Okay. Let's just shift things around, make things easier to see. So, now this has just standard base tech that pretty much all ships come with. And so we get an accurate read on its base stats here. So with just the photon cannon, 268.6 damage, 182.9 shield. Every fighter has 101 range, period. And maneuverability, 400.4. So fighters at S class with this loadout, the entire range for maneuverability starts at 388 and goes up to 445. So you can already see that it is quite lacking in the maneuverability department. Shields, they only roll in a 15% range, the maximum being 194.4, so quite a bit lower than that. And damage, they'll go up to 284.3, I believe. Well, we'll see in a second. So anyways, let's start by comparing it to the starter ship, this Radiant Pillar that I've already upgraded to S class. And yes, it has slightly less damage, but the Radiant Pillar actually rolls perfect shields and has 17 maneuverability higher, which is a little ridiculous considering that the triple thruster is what is generally the lowest tier maneuverability for fighters. Single thruster is generally mid tier, and box thruster is high tier. So we can already see I consider maneuverability more important than damage, so I consider the Radiant Pillar superior to the Golden Vector already. But over here, what we have is a ship spawned in specifically for its perfect stats. So we're going to take a look at this compared to the Golden Vector. And as I said, 445 maneuverability, same perfect shields as the Pillar, and 16 base damage higher than the Golden Vector. So in the entire range of ship stats, this basically puts the Golden Vector in the bottom third. And I just like to take a second. This ship, it was actually spawned in through Seed, and it was Mistral of the Creative and Sharing Hub who was kind enough to provide it, even though I didn't tell him that this is what I'd be using it for. So, for all you people out there that are in awe of the Golden Vector, yes, it's shiny and it looks pretty, but as an actual combat fighter, it is quite lacking. However, I can't argue that it's not very useful to have as a claimable ship at the beginning of a save. Like, it gives you something that you can fly that's already fully repaired and well above average for beginning players, or you can scrap it and profit from it and use the units and nanites for whatever you want. But something I figured out a while back, and I'm kind of surprised that I haven't seen anyone else doing this. So either no one else has figured it out, or everyone else that has is keeping a lid on it, is a really nifty trick. So let's take a quick look at these stats again for comparison. 400 maneuverability, 268.6 for damage. And we're going to go over here to this Golden Vector. Hop in. And ooh, would you look at that? different stats, an extra 12 damage, an extra 8 or so shield strength, and over 33 extra maneuverability. And as you can see, has the literal same loadout as all the other ships I've shown you. And there's a very simple way of going about this, which I will incorporate the exact way of going about it in this video. But here's the way to understand the trick right here. So this golden vector isn't the golden vector. Its procedural name is the radiant pillar. And look, it has identical stats to the radiant pillar. The one right down the stairs over here. And the reason for that is they are literally the same ship. All I've done is change the golden vector seed to the same one as the radiant pillar. And it literally is as simple as that to manipulate the base stats on a golden vector. And this isn't like modding a fighter or save editing it in the normal way, because the stats are being generated by an actual fighter seed. So if you were to exchange with an NPC to hand the radiant pillar golden vector over to another player through an NPC, it'll have the same base stats at S class. Like the stats will carry over, and you can literally use any fighter seed to copy base stats over. So this one right here, I actually used the original Rasamama S36 seed, which is actually, the procedural name for it is the Hanamatan OQ5. You may remember it from Expedition 1 as an explorer, and these are its exact base stats at S class. I just renamed it the Golden Vector so I didn't give away the trick too quickly. And I actually do have one more. So yes, not only is this useful if you want to change the base stats, but you can actually do it simply to change the procedural name. So this golden vector is named the Mistress of the Moon, and this is actually the highest stat one I set up for this demonstration. It does have slightly lower damage than the Hanamatan, but it's got better shields and the highest maneuverability of any of the ones I've spawned. And the reason for that is I'm sure that everyone who's not able to save edit it and set one of these up for themselves is probably going to be interested in one. And there actually is a Discord server and group that specializes in customizing ships and handing them over to players completely free of charge, called Battle Group Savannah. And the seed I used for this is basically a copy of the first fighter they ever delivered to another player. Just a kind of a nod to them. And yeah, I'm not a huge fan of plugging groups or advertising for things, but they definitely deserve it. And if you don't have the ability to save edit or a friend who can, they'll be willing to help you out completely free of charge. So I've already actually talked to them, and this is the seed they'll be using. So they'll hand out the Mistress of the Moon golden vectors to people, which is actually they're not perfect stats, because I don't know, personally I think handing out perfect fighters to every Tom, Dick, and Harry just is a little ridiculous, especially in a golden vector skin. But I'm sure eventually the higher stat versions will start permeating the community. And the only other group I wanted to mention and plug is the Galactic Hub Star League, which has very little to do with this video, but I've recently joined the team there. and I'm hoping to get some player versus player dogfighting going. So it is semi-related, but more or less just a shameless plug. But anyways, what I'm going to do is the end panel for this video. I'm going to actually do a splash of the JSON for the golden vector, so you can see what the seed is, and I believe I show the Hanmatan seed. So it's literally, if you want the golden vector with the original starter, I'll even provide the seed for you to save edit. But yes, if not, don't forget about VGS, and I really do hope that I draw a few new faces to show up for Galactic Hub Star League events. Currently we're running multi-tool stuff, but with enough interest, well, there already is interest among the other members of the team to start running dogfighting events, but the more the merrier. So come check it out and have yourself a lovely day with your manipulable base stat fighter. One of a kind, as far as I know. There's no other method I've heard of or seen that allows you to both change the base stats on ship and transfer it to another player with them intact. So, have a good one.